This online business hot seat coaching episode of Podcasting Business School is being brought to you by my online business academy for podcasters. This is the only online business academy exclusively for podcasters that want to learn how to leverage their show to create an online business ecosystem. My academy members are learning how to optimize their offers, create ultra attractive lead magnets, and build marketing funnels that are simple and effective. Plus, Academy members get group coaching with me every other week so that I can help them stay motivated and on track for online business success. To find out more about the Online Business Academy for podcasters, check out the link in the show notes. And if you're thinking about joining us, you can still get founding member pricing. Now, let's jump into this hot seat coaching session with one of my Online Business Academy for podcasters members. What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam. You're listening to Podcasting Business School. If you are a podcaster that's looking to learn how to leverage your podcast to get more clients and get your online business growing, you're in the right place. We're doing something new. First ever hot seat session. I brought my pod pal Shelly in. She is a member of my Online Business Academy for podcasters. And as a part of that membership, she has access to a hot seat session. We're going to jam out for 30 minutes and really work on focusing on what she needs to focus on with her online business building and brand building and podcast monetization efforts. So Shelly, I appreciate you coming on to be the first one, the maiden voyage, as we said here. So I'm excited to get started. You feeling fired up? You ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, Shelly. I like looking at the revenue roadblock situation. And you and I have been working together. We've been really working on my mantra of simplify before we multiply. You've been paring down the offers and really simplifying to who do we want to impact? What offers are really where we want to lean into? We're experiencing a little bit of burnout, social media burnout, content burnout, and I'm trying to pare things back so we can just really, really, really get you in your zone of genius, helping the exact right fit person, speaking to them through your content, and creating that ELF situation, easy, lucrative, and fun. When it comes to revenue roadblocks, we look at, is it a leads problem? Is it a funnel problem? Is it a sales and solutions problem? When I look at what you've got, sales and solutions are looking good. Funnel looking good. You got great lead magnets. You understand email marketing. You understand nurturing. I feel like it's time to load the funnel with new leads. Do you feel like I'm on the right track here?
Absolutely. That is 100% where I need to focus in the next 6 months.
Okay. And like if you are out there listening and you're like, how do I know maybe leads? Maybe that's my revenue roadblock too. And so Shelly is somebody again that like when people get into her funnel, they do business with her. Like there is a definite pathway there to doing business, and I feel really confident in what she's got there. So if you got good stuff, you've got good offers, people have bought them before, but the well has kind of run dry. And this is normal. Like I was there earlier this year. I'm like, oh my God, I need to refill my leads a little bit. So good news for you, Shelly. Like I've been really focusing on lead generation myself and filling up that new leads, that new list for the last couple of months. So I've got some things that are in practice that I think are going to be able to apply to you as well. So that sound cool?
Yep, let's get started. I'll
All
take
right.
I'll take all the help.
All the things. So one of the things that I've really been focusing on is guesting on other podcasts, like getting out there, networking and going, all right, I really need to get back to guesting on at least 4 shows per month. When that's a great and very achievable benchmark. It doesn't have to be 4 shows per week. I've been there too. It's hard for me to do with a 3-day work week and guess on 4 shows per week. That's a lot of me guessing another show time that eats up. And then I'm like, I can't serve my own clients. But 1 a week average, 4 per month. That way, if you have 1 week where you knock a couple out, I feel like that's a great goal for you to build towards and go, all right, now, first question, how are we getting on other shows? I love the strategy of let's use a third of our content to make friends and invite podcasters onto our show with the hopes of getting an invite back. So, really being strategic on kind of tangential content topics that, I like looking at those Apple and Spotify top 200 lists, kind of perusing those and going, ooh, that one right there. We don't talk about the same thing, but I have a subtopic of their overall big topic or vice versa, and we complement each other. So, for example, I reached out to a gentleman named Chris that has the Group Coach Nation podcast. He really focuses on how to build masterminds and group coaching programs. Really good podcast. I've listened to it for a while. I invite him on. I'm like, Chris, I'd love to have you on the show. He does a lot of volume with this show. I know this. And, we haven't done the interview yet, but in a few weeks here, I'm going to make friends with him. And, if it goes well, maybe that invite happens. And that's the strategy that I'm currently implementing. But I've been doing this even with shows that aren't ranked. If I just find a podcaster that I'm like, all right, I'm looking at their social media, I'm looking at their, I can tell they have lead magnets, they're pushing for an email list. These are all the herbs and spices I'm looking for when I'm looking for a collaboration partner, somebody I want to invite on. And then as I'm onboarding them, I'm asking them questions like, would you be interested in doing an Instagram live together? Would you be interested in having me on your show? Would you be interested in doing an email list promo swap? I'm asking that in the onboarding to kind of seed those questions for, if it all goes well, somebody comes on my show, I blow them away. I do what I'm good at. I make friends. They've already answered those questions. They go, hey, when you, filled out all the stuff, I saw that you'd be interested in maybe doing an email list promo swap. Want to talk about that real quick before you sign off, or should we set up a separate time to talk about that? Oh, no, let's talk about it right now. Cool. Well, here's what I'm looking for. And I kind of lay it out there. And this is a strategy that I think will help you with leads as well. Like we're both into list growth mode big time right now. And looking at email list promo swaps, we have to understand what's ideal for us and kind of define those terms. So for me, I'm really looking for somebody that's got 500 or more on their email list, that's in the podcasting space, business space, social media marketing space, any of the topics that really vibe with my online business space, sales space, marketing space. So if they're in that niche, they've got a list of 500 plus, and they are actively sending to that list. Like I'm going to ask people directly, like, listen, I need to actually see your list number, like legit. And like, I need to get eyeballs on it. And I need to know if you're emailing on a regular cadence and not just selling to people all the time. So like if somebody does a weekly newsletter, 500 plus, great niche, I'm like, let's do a promo swap, or let me pay you to run an ad in your next newsletter. Let me sponsor it. And they're like, well, what does that look like? But this is a way, if we do a swap, what I ask for, if I pay for an ad, what I'm asking them is for two of my links. I want one link that drives to a lead magnet and one link that drives to a specific podcast episode of my show. And especially if I'm paying for it, like, this is what I want for $200. You've got a list of 2,000 people. Here's how this is looking. This is what I'd like to do to sponsor your next newsletter. So I think different lead building strategies kind of fold off of this with all the collaboration that could potentially happen with an interview invite. So let me pause. Let me put my brakes there, because I saw you making some notes and you have that. I've got some thoughts here. So let me pause. Questions, comments on just what we've talked about there with the guesting and maybe the email list swaps.
I think it sounds good. Again, just it's getting a strategy. For me, it's the bandwidth to find the time to do this. Like, and when you're doing all these things, I was thinking, I know I need to do this, and so maybe it's helping me prioritize. With all the other things I'm trying to do to grow my podcast, what would be my needle moving like thing that to do each week? I've tried different podcast platforms. I was not great with finding guests that I loved and were aligned. Like I didn't feel like that was a good fit for me. So I do like the list of looking through that. It's just, how do I go about getting this done with the 3,000 other things I'm trying to do, on top of it? Because I think that's what happens is, you've got your effort-based marketing, you've got I've got all the things. And so I feel like maybe this is not taken priority because I've been overwhelmed trying to get all the other things that I'm supposed to be doing done, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So what I personally do, and you have access to this tool as a member of the Online Business Academy for Podcasters, I created that little dashboard tool. And specifically, what I do is the tab that says priority, top priorities, or top tasks, whatever the label I put on there. Um, this is where you list all the things that all the projects, just like dump all the things.
Okay.
But here's the key for me: on the little drop down menu, there are options like number one priority, high priority, not a priority right now. I only allow myself to mark one thing as number one priority, only one thing. And I have to spend at least 2 hours working on that thing every week
Okay.
until it's done, until I,
Okay.
boom, check the box. So this is what helps me because I'm in the same boat. Lots of things. I mean, as online entrepreneurs, as solopreneurs, there's an endless amount of work that we can do.
Right.
And then it's like, when do I actually see my kids and my spouse and everything? So this is huge for me. Just that simple step of listing all the things and then marking. I only let myself, again, one number one priority. Then I'll only let myself go to two marked as high priority below that. So I've kind of got my top three things,
Okay.
you know, and then all the other ones are not a priority right now. I don't have medium priority. It's number one priority, high priority, not a priority. And that's
Okay.
still that way we have all the things and we kind of, I like to rank them in kind of pecking order, but I make sure at least 2 hours a week spent on number one priority until it is actually done. And each week I get better and better and better at identifying the number one priority. I'm like, if this, it's kind of like the book, The One Thing. If only one thing happens, what has the biggest impact on everything else? So a lot of times for me, like this past week was, I had to do my monthly free workshop yesterday. It was a lot of prep and follow up, and we ignite that audience. We want to do lots of follow up and set up discovery calls. Like that's the number one priority. I've had to spend 2 hours doing follow-ups and stirring the pot there and getting people excited about the executing the session. And then next week it'll be something different because now that's been checked off the list and I can move to the next thing. So for you, it could be like, um, my number one priority is to get another 1,000 people on my list. So I need to spend 2 hours with things that will do that. Maybe part of that 2 hours is strategic reach out to guests to come on your show. Um, Putting out information on social media. What I'm going to do is create a Google form with my criteria for a perfect email list swap. I'm going to say if you're this, this, and this, name what niche you're in, and then I'll follow up. But I'm going to post that on Threads and go, I'm looking to do email list swaps. My list is at 2,700 or whatever it's at right now. I've got a 70% open rate. Here's the category that I'm in. Fill out this Google form if you think you'd be a good swap partner. So just little things like, okay, this will help me build my list. This will help me build my list. This will help me build my list. This will help me grow my audience. But so yeah, so I think that using that dashboard that you've got access to, I mean, it's exactly what I use. That's why I put it inside the academy because I'm like, this is working great for me. It organizes my crazy creative brain nicely. So any thoughts or questions on that?
Yes, I think for me, I need to drill down even more. So if I'm wanting to grow my show and get my email list, would you say my number one priority would be guesting and getting guests like that? Like back to just saying, because I know like effort-based marketing and social media can fill all gaps. And so and as we've talked about, I'm feeling a little burned out on that. So I really want to dial into one strategy to go all in on for the next 90 days. Not that I'm not going to do the other ones, but I need to give myself permission to let them go and focus on one thing that's going to, the one thing. And if you're telling me that you think the guesting strategy or what we've been talking about is that thing, it will give me the permission to let the other things just, either put a pause on them or just put them on the back burner.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you just said there, and I wholeheartedly support that. And I think right now for social media, for me, it's kind of just minimum effective dose on every platform other than Threads. Threads is so easy to me, and it's working, and it's text, and it's 5 minutes, and super easy. So that's the outlier. But like Instagram, I'm like, I just put up a video. I'm like, I'm only doing one video this week, but I use that video like I spray it out to everywhere. I'm just doing a lot of text posts on Threads and I'll share them or I'll screenshot and share them. It's like, it's so easy to do for me. That's kind of my social media minimum effective dose. But for you, just because your funnel and your offers and your services are really dialed in and really good, we just need that fresh blood in your system there with the new eyeballs, new earbuds getting into your content. Your content is so good. So yes, I would say priority number one is let's get you booked on 4 podcasts per month
Okay.
and figure out the system that works for that. So maybe, you need to interview 4 people and kind of just get those churning where you're building the relationships. But also, I really want you looking at like what live events and or virtual events are happening that you would love to be a part of and who is hosting those. And
Okay.
let's get that person on your show and make friends. Like people ask me how I get booked on live stages. This is what I do. I figure out who's running the event. I have them on my podcast and I make friends. And sometimes I have to go buy a ticket and paid to be an attendee for 1 year, one session or whatever. But then I'm there. I go, hey, it's Adam from Podcasting Business School. You can, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, this is an awesome event. I'm definitely applying to speak next year. Keep an eye out for me. And guess who's speaking next year? Guess who's the MC, paid MC next year? Like these are real things that happen. So let's look at those opportunities as well. Um, and then let's talk strategy and be strategic for when you are a guest on someone else's show. Um, I really want you dialed in with kind of having that forethought of thinking, all right, I'm probably based on what the show is, I'm probably going to talk about this, or this. I want you to have notes pulled up of podcast episodes that are related to those topics. And like I did this twice today. I've been interviewed twice today, one summit, one podcast. And I have my little list and it works fantastically. And they're always impressed with it. And like the guy from the summit's like, I saw you sneak in like 5 episode promos. And they're like, yeah, this is what I do. So I got my little list. I'm like, oh, we just talked about podcast growth. I wait for my moment. I'm like, before he switches topics, I'll be like, hey, and if you guys want to dive a little deeper on podcast growth, check out episode 483 of Podcasting Business School. That's a great place to start. Okay, ask me your next question. The next thing, and then I kind of just, if I can sneak 1, 2, 3, getting 5 was a masterpiece on my part. I was pretty impressed with that. But if you can get 1 or 2 in there, give them some footholds to start with where you want them to start. It's like they're hot on this topic. And instead of just going, hey, just come over and listen to my podcast, we're going, start at episode XYZ because this is the appetizer. That's the meal that you want to go and get. That's a great place for you to start if you're listening to this episode right now. And that way we think about that episode and also think about the call to action on that episode. And if you don't have an episode that meets all these criteria, let's start creating those episodes to where you're like, I'm going on a lot of shows talking about email list building. I got to make sure that I've got an episode where I kind of unpack some of this. That would be a good next step. And in the call to action, I want to talk about my email list building scorecard in the intro and outro. So that's like, I'm on another show. I reference an episode. They listen to that episode, hear the call to action to my lead magnet. They download the lead magnet. They're in my funnel, and we know your funnel works. So that's the way I see
Okay.
all this kind of piecing together. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And you're so dang good at what you do. Like when you guest, you're going to tear it up. And then when you just, I really, really believe in that extra step of not just referring to listen to my podcast and all the
Right.
platforms, really getting specific. They're much more likely. Like when I do this, I see that episode increase. I see the spike.
Okay.
And that gets us really dialed in. So I think all those strategies, let's keep those in mind. Set the podcast guesting goal. I'm going to have my brainwaves cooking on people I need to introduce you to that would be good email promo swaps and podcast, guest swaps and things like that. Because like I said, you're really, really good at what you do. And I think you're going to over deliver just like I do when I guest on somebody's show. So let's start there as a focus point. And just any opportunity that you get when you do get an opportunity to speak on someone else's show or someone else's live or virtual stage, just rack your brain with like, did I squeeze every opportunity out of this? And the good news for you is you got like direct Voxer access to me through the academy. So before you get on, let's compare notes and go, okay, what's the show about? Like, let's kind of get you prepped. How many links do you have ready to go? And then afterwards, let's kind of unpack it and go, all right, here's how it went. Here are the links that I sent out. Okay, what went well? What do we need to get better at? And kind of just like do a recap of how things went. And I'm there with you every step of the way. Cool.
Okay, I can do this. It's just having that laser focus helps because it's going to let me bless and release all the other stuff
Yeah.
and just go all in on the guesting and building those relationships.
And last thing, social media burnout is real. I've felt it on and off throughout my online business career since 2015, almost 10 years now. It's crazy. Um, right now, that's this minimum effective dose thing is really, it's like therapeutic for me. It feels so
Mhm.
much better. I'm not losing followers, like the follower count isn't going down. My content when I do post is actually better.
Yeah.
Um, and whether Threads is a good platform for you, or LinkedIn or whatever, like find that one spot that feels like, okay, this is easy, I can knock this out, this is simple, I'm getting some engagement, and then just peel off of that, get it out there. But giving yourself permission, like I can't tell you how many nights I've been like, well, on my sheet it says I'm supposed to post this video on LinkedIn, and I'm just like, forget that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go freaking shoot baskets with my kid. I'm going to go, like, so if it comes down to doing family things or posting on LinkedIn, do the family thing because you'll probably get
Okay.
way more out of that. Because, like you said, you're kind of talking to the same people right now. We need to get new people over in your world. And now, when you see, oh, I've added 200 people on my LinkedIn, all of a sudden now we got some new people. Maybe you're more motivated and you're going to get some engagement from those folks. So just kind of keep that in mind and don't stress out about social media right now. I think this other
Okay.
method's gonna be worth it. You don't need my permission, but I give you permission to relax on social media. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just I just needed to hear that from someone else because sometimes we tell ourselves, but hearing it from someone else just lets you actually do it.
Yeah. Now, before I let you go, I'm going to hit you up for feedback and like how you're liking the academy so far. Obviously, this is the first month. You're one of my founding members. You really represent my ideal member avatar. And I told you that signing up. I'm like, Shelly, I really want you to do this because like if I can make you happy, then I know that this is the program that I wanted to create. So, what are you liking so far about what you have access to and how it's going with the academy?
Well, I love the fact, as you know, business coaches need business coaches, and we have so many blind spots into our own business. And just having what I love, first of all, is you simplify things. I have been part of so many online marketing spaces and just business spaces where they make things so complicated, it becomes this heavy lift. And I really love how you have helped me simplify everything and just really dial it back and focus on what matters most to be able to scale that, which is what I told you I needed because I felt like my business had kind of just become a heavy lift. And then I love that just the insight that you give us to like your superpower is simplification. And you're like, let all that go, like just focus on this. And I am one of those people that has 1,000 thoughts. And sometimes I just need someone to say, this is your next right thing. This is your strategy. Go focus on this. And then we can circle back. And then just having the weekly Voxer communication with you helps me as I'm a verbal processor. So, you hear I'm like thinking through things on Voxer,
Yeah.
but it just helps me talk through things in real time and not have to wait to the next coaching call to be able to ask you my questions. So just having that ability to get live feedback so that I'm making real progress every day and not waiting till the next call has been very helpful.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I freaking love the Voxer. That's my favorite part where like y'all don't have to wait to check in with me. A lot of times I'm checking in with you all, and it's a walkie-talkie app for those that don't know what Voxer is. You can text and send video or whatever. I like the walkie-talkie mode, where if I haven't heard from somebody, or if somebody doesn't pop in for a meeting, I can just Vox and be like, "Hey, give me an update. What's going on?" But that today, I had one of our members Vox me that was like a troubled client situation. She's like, "I did this thing. They're kind of upset about this thing that happened. What should I do to fix it?" And I'm like, I kind of talked her off the ledge a little bit and like, okay, here's what we need to do. So just like that quick walkie talkie gets tag in some help. Maybe I got the answers. Hopefully I do. And here's what I would do if I were you, sort of thing. Business mentorship. I'm having a blast with it. It's so much fun. And I love doing
I
it.
love
So
it. I love
Yep.
it. And that was one of the reasons of Voxer Access that I decided to do it, because I know like I just needed that accountability and real-time help.
Awesome. All right, Pod Pals, first hot seat session in the books. If you want to come on and do a hot seat session, you got to be a member of the Online Business Academy for Podcasters. Just like Shelly, good news is you can pay the same price as Shelly and get founding member pricing. I'll put the link for that in the show notes. Go grab it. We'd love to see you inside the Academy. And with that, I'm going to send you out into the world, wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you next time.